Good morning, dear students. In the previous session, you learned the nature, purpose and concept of business. In that chapter, you learned what is the meaning of business and what are the various activities, and you know the chart of business activities. And also you learned if you want to start a business means here you have to know what are the basic factors. What are the basic factors you need to start a business? That and all you learned in the first chapter. Now let's move on to the new chapter, that is chapter 2. Chapter 2, forms of business organization. Forms of business organization. So here, forms of business organization. So the forms of business organization means if you want to start the business means here you have to know what are the different kinds of business organizations are there. So in this chapter here you are going to learn different kinds of business organization. So what are those business organization means? In that first one is sole proprietorship. In that first one is sole proprietorship, and the second one is joint into family, and the third one is partnership, and the fourth one is cooperative societies, and the fifth one is joint stock companies. So these are the 5 different kinds of business organization. So in this chapter here you are going to learn the briefly explanations or briefly concept of this business organization. So here we are going to learn one by one concept. So in the first one is sole proprietorship. In the first different form of business organization is sole proprietorship. Here, sole proprietorship. So the sole proprietorship means it is one of the most important and one of the simplest form of business organization. So here, in this sole proprietorship, here the small business organizations are going to start their business. This is known as sole proprietorship. So the sole proprietorship means here the sole means single. Sole means single or only. Single or only. And here the word proprietor indicates owner. Proprietor indicates owner. So here sole implies to single or only, and here the proprietor indicates owner. So the sole proprietorship means it is owned and managed and controlled by the single person. It is owned and managed and controlled by the single person. That is known as a sole proprietorship. So I think everybody got the meaning of sole proprietorship. So the sole proprietorship means it is owned, managed and controlled by individual or single sole proprietorship means it is one of the easiest business organization and it is one of the small business organization. It means sole proprietorship means it is owned and managed and controlled by the single person or a individual. It is known as the sole proprietorship. So what are the best examples for the sole proprietorship means? In the first one is saloons and beauty parlors, and small retail shops, etc. So these are the best examples for the sole proprietorship. So I think you got the meaning of sole proprietorship and what are the examples of sole proprietorship. So once again I am going to repeat this sole proprietorship meaning. So the sole proprietorship means here the word sole indicates single or only and the word proprietor indicates owner. So it means the sole proprietorship means it is owned and managed by the single person or a individual or a single owner is known as a sole proprietorship, and it is one of the simplest form and smallest form of business organization. Here the sole proprietorship examples are, first one is saloons, beauty parlors and small retail shops and etc. So these are the best examples of sole proprietorship. And now let's move on to the what are the features of sole proprietorship. First one is features of sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship. So in the first one is formation and closure. In the first one is formation and closure. So here formation and closure. So the formation means here how to form a business organization. So the sole proprietorship is very easy to form a business organization. The sole proprietorship is very easy to form a business organization, and also here the sole proprietor, the owner must follow some required laws or some required legal formalities. It means here you have to maintain or else here you have to follow some required legal formalities to start a sole proprietorship. And also you must have a license to conduct or start this sole proprietorship, that is known as a formation. So it requires some legal formalities. That means that you have to follow some rules and regulations, and also you have to maintain a license to conduct or stand this sole proprietorship. And closure, and how they are going to start this business organization. Like that only here, if we lose any interest in case of business organization means here he can leave the business organization. That means he can close up or wind up his business organization. That is known as formation and closure. Once again I am going to repeat this point. So formation and closure. So the formation and closure means here the sole proprietorship is a single owner. Here it is a small business organization, and here it requires to start a business organization with some legal formalities. The formalities means here you have to follow some rules and regulations and procedures, and as well as you have to maintain some license to start a sole proprietorship. And here the closure means if we lose interest in interest in business organization means here he can close down his business. That is known as closure. And the next one is liability. Next one is liability. So liability. So liability means here the sole proprietorship. Here the sole proprietorship liability will be unlimited. Sole proprietorship liability is unlimited. Sole proprietorship liability is unlimited. If the liability is if the business organization resources are not sufficient, means here he can take over his personal resources to pay his debts. That is known as liability. So the liability means in the sole proprietorship, if they are not able to pay their debts in case of business or resources, means it is not possible to pay from his business resources, means here he had to pay from his personal resources. That is known as liability. So in the first main point is here the sole proprietorship liability will be unlimited. If the business resources are not sufficient, means here he had to pay from his personal resources. That is known as liability. Understand? So the next point is sole risk taker. Sole risk bearer and profit recipient. Sole risk bearer and profit recipient. So the sole risk bearer. Here the sole risk bearer means here in the sole proprietorship, here he is a single person who is going to manage and control a business organization. He is a single person who is going to control and manage a business organization. In that cases, if any risk may arises, means here he is the only single person is going to bear all the risk. That is known as sole risk bearer. Here he is the only single person who is going to bear all the risk of his business organization. That is known as sole risk bearer and also profit recipient. If we get any reward of profit, means that profit will be enjoyed only by this single person. That means here the sole proprietor is a person who is going to enjoy all his profits as well as he is going to bear a risk. Like that only he had to enjoy a profit. That is known as a sole risk bearer and a profit recipient. Understand? And the next one is control. Next point is control. So here control. Control means who is going to control this sole proprietorship, means here the owner, sole proprietor is going to control this sole proprietorship. The single owner is going to control this sole proprietorship, and here he won't interfere any other third person. Here he won't enter any other third person. So here who is going to control this sole proprietorship? Here the single owner, who is the sole proprietor, who is the owner for this business activity, that person is going to control all his business activity, and here there is no third person who is going to interfere in his business activities. That is known as control. And the next one is no separate entity. No separate entity. So the no separate entity. Here the no separate entity means here in the sole proprietorship, here they won't differentiate between the sole trader. They won't differentiate between the sole trader and his business. So here no separate And the next one is lack of continuity. And the next for most important point is lack of continuity. Lack of continuity. So lack of continuity. So the lack of continuity means you already know the meaning. Here is a single person who is going to own and manage. Here the single person who is going to own and manage in case if he died or any insanity or any mental disaster happened to a particular person, means in that cases the business organization will be closed off. That is known as lack of continuity. So the lack of continuity means here the single owner, the sole proprietor, if anything happens to that particular person, means any insanity, in case of insanity, death, mental disaster or anything happened to that particular person, means in that cases the business organization will be wind up or closed down. So the wind up means closed down. That is known as lack of continuity. This is the main disadvantage of this sole proprietorship. So once again I am going to repeat these points. What are the features of sole proprietorship means? The first one is formation and closure. So the formation and closure means here how to form a sole proprietorship means here it is very easy to form a sole proprietorship with the simple some required legal formalities, and he must have a license to conduct his business organization. And next one is closure. So the closure means it is very easy to close this business. If he lose interest in this business organization, means here he can wind up or close down his business. And then the second one is liability. So the liability means here the sole proprietorship liability will be unlimited. Sole proprietorship liability will be unlimited if the business resources are not sufficient, means here you have to pay the debt from his personal resources. That is known as liability. And the next one is sole risk bearer and profit recipient. So the sole risk bearer and profit recipient means here the sole proprietorship is owned and managed by the single person. The sole proprietorship is owned and managed by the single person. In case of any risk arises or risk incurred, means here is the only person who is going to bear all the risk. That is known as sole risk bearer. And then the profit recipient. So the profit recipient means if we get a reward of profit, means here he is the only person who is going to enjoy all his profit. That is known as profit recipient. And the next one is control. So the control means here the sole proprietorship. Here the sole proprietor is going to control his business organization. So the sole proprietor is going to control or manage the business organization. Here there is no third party. Here there is no interference of third party to manage his business activities. And the next one is no separate entity. So the no separate entity means here they won't differentiate between his sole trader and his business activity. So here they are having a one legal identity, that is known as no separate entity. And the next one is lack of continuity. So the lack of continuity means in the sole proprietorship, here the single person who is going to manage and control all the business activities. In case of his death or insanity or any mental disaster to happen for the particular person, means that business organization will be closed down. That is known as lack of continuity. I think all of you understood these features of sole proprietorship. So what are the points are written on the board? Please make a short note. So it will be helpful for the examination point of view, and also we can easily recall the points at any time. So please make a short note. And now let's move on to the next topic, That is, here you learn the features of sole proprietorship. And now, if you want to start a business or else if you want to start any activities, means here there is a advantages and as well as the disadvantages. First, here we are going to learn the what are the advantages of sole proprietorship. What are the advantages of sole proprietorship? So, in that first one is quick decision making. In that first one is quick decision making. So, here quick decision making. So, the quick decision making means in the sole proprietorship, here the single person who is going to take decisions about this business activity. So here he no need to ask anyone to take a decision. So because of that, here it is very easy to take a quick decisions about these business activities. That is known as quick decision making. So here in the sole proprietorship, here the person, the sole proprietor is going to own and manage. Here you no need to ask anyone to take decisions about his business activities. Here he is the only person responsible for all his business activities. So here he can make a quick decision about his business activities. That is known as quick decision making. And the next one is confidentiality of information. Confidentiality of information. So, confidentiality of information. So, the confidentiality of information means in the sole proprietorship is the person who is going to manage his business organization. Here he won't give any confidentiality of information. So, the sole proprietor is having a authority. Sole proprietor is having a authority to make a decisions over his business organization. So, the sole proprietor is having a authority to take a decisions. Authority to take a decisions about his business organization. So here he won't tell any secret about his business organizations to other persons. That is known as confidentiality of information. So the confidentiality of information means, once again I am going to repeat this point. So here sole proprietor is having a high authority to take decision making about his business organization. So here he won't spread this secrecy about his business activities to any other person. So here he is going to maintain a secrecy about his business organization. That is known as confidentiality of information. And the next one is direct incentive. So direct incentive. So the direct incentive means here the sole proprietor is going to get his reward of profit directly. Whatever the maximum profit earned by him, that will be received to the sole proprietor. That is known as direct incentive. So the direct incentive means here the sole proprietor is going to get his reward of profit. That maximum profit will be received by himself. That is known as direct incentive. And the next one is sense of accomplishment. Sense of accomplishment. So the accomplishment means achievement. So a sense of accomplishment. So if the sole proprietor achieve Here the sole proprietor is involved in business activities. Here himself or herself get a satisfaction about his job, about his business activities. Here the sense of accomplishment means here the word accomplishment indicates achievement. Here the sole proprietor is involved in business activities. In that cases, here they are going to get their self-satisfaction. Here they are going to get their self-satisfaction about his business activities. Here they are going to get their self-satisfaction about his business activities. Here the sense of accomplishment shows the abilities and capabilities of the sole proprietor. That is known as sense of accomplishment. And the next one is easy of formation and closure. So the ease of formation and closure. So we already know the meaning of formation and closure in the features of sole proprietorship. So the ease of formation means here the sole proprietors can be start their business organization easily with the some required legal formalities and their license. And here the closure means if we lose interest about this business organization means here he can wind up his business organization. So it is very easy to form a business organization and as well as it is very easy to close down his business organization. That is known as easy of formation and closure. So here what are the advantages of sole proprietorship means here once again I am going to repeat these points. In the first one is quick decision making. So the quick decision making means here the sole proprietor is the only person who is going to take decisions about his business organization. That it is very easy to make his business organization decisions. Any other third person will not enter to his business decision making. So it is very easy to make a business organization decisions. And the next one is confidentiality of information. So the confidentiality of information means here the business sole proprietorship. Here the sole proprietor is only the person who is responsible for his business organization, and here is going to maintain a secrecy about his business organization. Here he won't share any secrets about his business organization. Here he can maintain a secrecy about his business information. And the next one is direct incentive. So the direct incentive means here whatever the profit he earns from his business organization that will be directly given to a sole proprietor. That will be directly taken by a sole proprietor. And the next one is sense of accomplishment. So the sense of accomplishment here the accomplishment word indicates a achievement. Here the sole proprietor. So himself here they are going to involve in their business activities. Here they are going to get their self-satisfaction about his business activities. Here the herself or himself, whomever is going to make a business organization, here they are involved in their business activity. Here they are going to get their self-satisfaction, and also here it shows the capabilities of their business activities. And the next one is easy of formation and closure. So here the easy of formation and closure means, so here sole proprietor, here it is very easy to form this business organization. So it is one of the small business organizations concerned, and here they require only some legal formalities, and as well as here they require license to start their business organization. And here the closure means if we lose interest or any in case of death or anything happened to a particular person, here they can close down their business organization easily. So here the formation of sole proprietorship also easy, as well as the closure is also very easy. So these are the some advantages of sole proprietorship. And the next, let's move to the next one is disadvantages. Wherever you get the benefit as well as you are having some disadvantages. What are to invest their money to a business organization from his savings. And if you want to borrow money with others means here they are going to provide a limited resources. So because of that in this sole proprietorship here there are in the limited resources. So here the limited resources means here the sole proprietor, here the only single person who is going to invest their money to a business organization, who is going to invest his money to a business organization. Here is savings, and if we want to borrow a money or capital from others means here they are going to provide only limited. Because of that here is going to maintain limited resources. So this is one of the main disadvantage of sole proprietorship. Understand? So the next one is limited life of a concern or business organization. So the limited life of a concern. So the why is the limited life of concern means here in the business in this sole proprietorship here there are the lack of continuity. So lack of continuity, why it may arises means in case of the sole proprietor's death or insanity or any mental disaster happen to a sole proprietorship means in that cases here their life, the business concerns life will be limited. That is known as limited life of a concern. So it is also called as a lack of continuity. So that means here the sole proprietor is a single person who is going to manage and handle this business organization in case of his death or insanity or any mental disaster. Here that business organization will be closed down. So because of that business concern is having a limited life. And the next one is unlimited liability. So this is a main important disadvantage. So here unlimited liability. So here unlimited liability means unlimited liability. So the unlimited liability means in the sole proprietorship here the liability will be unlimited. In the sole proprietorship here there are unlimited liability if the business resources are not sufficient. If the business resource is not sufficient means they have to pay their debts from his personal resources. Means they have to pay their personal debts from they have to pay their debts from their personal resources. So here unlimited liability. So the unlimited liability means in the sole proprietorship here they are having a unlimited liability. If the business resources are not sufficient means here they have to pay their debts from his or her personal resources. That is known as a unlimited liability. And the next one is limited managerial ability. Limited managerial ability. So limited managerial ability. That means here the sole proprietor is having a limited machineries, limited resources, structure. That means here you have to maintain this managerial ability limitedly, because here it is one of the small business organization. So here their liabilities will be limited, and here their liabilities will be unlimited, their risk will be more, and also here their managerial ability will be less. So because of that, here they have to manage their business activity limitedly. These are the main disadvantages of sole proprietorship. So once again I am going to repeat these points. In that, first one is limited resources. So the limited resources. So the sole proprietor is having a limited resources. Why? Because so here is savings, and here you have to invest the money with these savings, or if you want to borrow money from anybody means here they are going to provide only limited resources, only limited capital. So because of that, here in this business, in this sole proprietorship is having a limited resources. And the next one is limited life of a concern. So in the sole proprietorship, he is the only single person who is going to handle his business activities. If in case of his death or insanity or any mental disaster happen to that particular person, means that business will be closed out, that business will be wind up. So because of that, here the liability, the life of the business, the sole proprietor's business concern will be limited. And the next one is unlimited liability. So here the sole proprietorship liability will be unlimited. If the business resources are not sufficient, means here he have to pay his debt from his personal resources. That is known as unlimited liability. So the limited managerial ability. So the limited managerial ability means here in the sole proprietorship, here they are having everything. The resources are limited, the machineries, equipments, capital, everything is limited. So according to his capital requirement, here you have to manage the business activity limitedly. So these are the disadvantages of sole proprietorship. Dear students, I think all of you understood this concept. So first form of business organization, and is one of the simplest form of business organization, that is sole proprietorship. So you learn the meaning of sole proprietorship. Here the sole proprietorship means only the single owner who is going to manage, handle and control the business organization. And you know the feature of sole proprietorship, and as well as the advantages and disadvantages. I hope all of you understood this concept. Now in the next session, here we are going to learn the next form of business organization, that is joint into family. In that we are going to know the meaning of joint into family, and who are the persons involved, and who is going to handle the joint into family, and the features of joint into family, and the advantages and disadvantages of joint into family. That are the things we are going to learn in the